right, guys, welcome to another episode of Elevated and Chill. I
100.
am at 100 exactly.
Yeah.
Episode three. I'm here. First of all, my name is CJ. I'm the host, along with my co-host Dougie Fresh. Dougie, what's going on? How's everything?
Yo, bro, what's good? Excited for episode 3 today. Cannot believe it's another session of Elevated and Chill and hanging
Yep.
with you, bro. Things are going well. Little catch up, little mental check. Things are all set over here. Like work is be working, life be lifing. We've been
Listen.
looking at houses and things like that. So getting out there in the market and putting that out there. And that baby girl Dylan is doing good. She's been wild and crazy over here. Been super alert, and we're having so much fun. We're doing a bunch of different stuff, but we're super excited that the weather is getting nicer.
Nice. So,
Finally,
yep.
we can actually go outside and do stuff.
Yep.
We ended up buying a new stroller, so it's a little bit more lightweight, so we can go on some good walks and hikes and stuff
Yep.
like that. So we're hyped up about that, and that should be coming here real soon. So hopefully, it'll be warm in the next like week or two, and we'll be able to get out. Now
For
we hit
real.
that daylight savings time, so we
Yeah, that
gained
should
an
kind of
hour
fuck
of
me up. I'm
light.
not gonna lie to you. That should kind
We
of fuck
gained an
me up.
hour of light at night, but this morning I felt like groggy and crazy. So that's why I
Yeah.
got myself a Celsius to continue this
The
journey.
caps
But
in the yeah.
what about you, man? How's everything been? What's going on in the last week?
Not much. Just just getting prepared to go to Nashville next week. So got
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
the tuck.
yeah.
Mom's birthday's this weekend, so shout out to Mama Dukes. Happy
Happy
birthday to her.
birthday.
So got everybody over. And the same old. I mean, just kind of continue my fitness journey. And Lent kid was on. I don't know if anybody home team, if
Anybody
you
out
guys
there?
celebrate Lent, anybody out there that celebrates Lent. Lent was Wednesday. So that's the
What'd you
beginning
give
of
up?
I gave up red meat, I gave up all junk
Ooh,
food, and I gave up
okay.
Twitter.
Wow. Okay. Well, he gave up
Yeah,
X, even though it's not
yeah,
Twitter anymore,
sorry.
but
Formerly
uh,
known as
formerly known as.
Twitter. So yeah,
So,
so
are
yep,
you
that's
excited
in
about
the
that? Like, you're getting rid of the junk food. I feel like that's easy phase. But like the
yeah,
red meat for me, bro, I just threw a pot roast in this morning. I don't
yeah,
know
it's
if I
tough.
could do it. I don't know if I could do it.
It's gonna be a challenge, especially with like being like off of X, and trying to keep away from red meat. It's gonna be tough, but I'm up for the challenge, and it'll help me with my overall health goals. So I'm
And how
excited.
many
It's
weeks is it?
so it's 40 days. So
40 days.
whatever many weeks in that 40 days. So I think Easter this year is like late April.
Late
So
April,
about
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I always try to figure out a way to challenge myself. So this is gonna be
That's good
that
though. Like that's
yeah
gonna kind of get you dialed in. Like,
locked
red
in.
meat is
Yeah,
hard. Red meat is hard for the body to process anyway. But like,
yeah.
dude, Ayana and I
No,
were talking about it the other day. We were like, if you had to choose one like meat or one like um yeah, I guess one meat like or one
yeah.
protein or something like that, like what would you choose? And I was like, I was having a hard time on figuring out what would I choose, and I was like, probably chicken because chicken goes well with like everything. But I was like, I don't know if I could get rid of burgers and stuff, bro. And like,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
pot roast and meatloaf. Oh,
I
damn,
love
bro.
I love steak. I love burgers, especially I like my burgers well rare as possible. So
It's still
I
off
love me
the
a
just cut off the cow. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
just cut off the cow. Love my pork chops and stuff like that. So it's gonna be tough, but hey,
You got this. You got this.
we're
Dial
gonna
in.
lock in. We're gonna
You're
lock
gonna
in. We're
feel
gonna
mad
lock
good
in.
after it.
Yeah.
Been going up to the gym over here. They redid it at the complex, so it's actually really nice. So
Oh,
I'm
so you've
gonna
been
be
hitting the
hoping to lock in a little bit more, get a better schedule going on. I can't do the gym after work, so I gotta get up a little bit
in the
earlier. I think
morning.
I'm gonna do like a
Well, that'll be good to
5:30
like,
start.
yeah, yeah, that'll be good to wake up early in the morning, start to your day. It's always better to go to the gym in the morning, but I mean,
Yeah, get
some
that energy
people,
flowing,
yeah,
everything. Like I just after work, I want to be able to eat food and freaking chill, and like that's it. Like be
yeah,
like, all right, already worked like 10 hours. Like I'm good. Like I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna try and get myself into a good schedule, good routine. Hit that gym, in the mornings, hopefully before the girls even wake up, and then I'll be like ready
Yeah,
to rock and roll, get that
ready
extra
to
in.
ride with the energy
So
and stuff like that. Home team,
100.
let us know your fitness goals. Let us know if anybody's selling out Lent out there. Let us know what you got going on for Lent. Would love some more insight on that. Um,
100. Keep us in
what
the
we've been
loop.
chatting, yeah, what we've been chatting about all week. We were excited for Thursday and yesterday.
Hmm.
First being Thursday was the Lakers versus the Knicks.
Dude.
Um, Obviously, my team, the Lakers, being that I'm a LeBron fan, and Dougie Fresh's team as being a diehard Knicks fan, we're clashing
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
What were your
Up
thoughts
against the
about the
wall,
game?
bro. The
Yeah,
overtime was wild. It was just a really, really good game. The one thing that I feel like, one, I know that now Brunson got hurt during that game, so he's
yeah.
going to be out for 2 weeks. But
He
hey,
had
at least
39.
it
He
was,
got 39 and 10. He got a double double
yeah,
though. Shout
that's
out to him.
solid. But like, and he still came back in. He did the Kobe Bryant. He came back in hurt,
Yep.
shot the free throws so that he could, put the respect out there. But like, my man is wild. He's such a good player, and they've unlocked him in so many ways. Like over the last couple of years to kind of give him the keys to the car and the kingdom and to tap in. So I feel good about him kind of being on the sidelines right now, getting back in 2 weeks, and then getting into a rhythm and ready to play in the playoffs. But dude, the Lakers are dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
Dangerous. If they
Dangerous.
if they can figure all of this out right before, which I think they're on like what a 12-game win streak or whatever it is, it's like crazy
Well, as of yesterday,
as
but
of yesterday.
as of yesterday,
Okay,
but
okay.
going into that Knicks game, we were on a 8 game winning streak.
8-game winning
Uh,
streak, and I'm pretty
Streak. Yep.
sure that Luca has never been on a team with an 8-game winning streak, and he's only played 10 games or 12 games with the Lakers.
Exactly.
It's
So
wild, bro.
they're cooking on that front. I think the biggest takeaways is the Lakers picked things up in the fourth quarter, going into overtime. They were struggling. They were like 7 for 27 in terms of beyond the heart. But then they caught up and were 7 for 15 going into in the fourth quarter and overtime. Again, the biggest takeaway we've been chatting about this a lot. We spoke about it on the last podcast episode. The Knicks have the fifth best record in the league. They're
Mm-hmm.
40-22 at the time. But they're struggling against top tier
They are.
teams that include Cleveland, Oklahoma, Boston, and now the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think those
All of
are
which are definitely contenders, and you're gonna have to go through some of them, if not all of them,
exactly.
to
Yep,
win.
you got it.
So,
That's just a reality, especially Boston. Boston's looking scary.
mm-hmm.
And Cleveland, depending on what goes on, they might make a run and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Everybody's doubting them. I think maybe that doubt might put fuel in their tank. But I think the Knicks need to try to figure out a way to get past these teams in terms of beating them for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that they did a good job this week. They signed PJ Tucker to a 10-day contract. We know what he
That's gonna,
does in the
yeah,
front court. He is a solid defender, good 3-and-D guy, but he's a big body, right? And we know he's also been in there and defended some of these players that we're going to have to play in the playoffs, like a Giannis, and or like Al Horford and Jason Tatum. Like he's done his due diligence on those guys and has gone against them. So like I feel like the Knicks did good by picking him up. Obviously, he's like gonna fill that roster spot for
yeah.
while Brunson's out, but then they got to figure out, are you gonna sign him for the rest of the year? I think they should. That's a good pickup. What do you think? PJ Tucker on the Knicks?
I mean, PJ Tucker adds grit grind to the team. I think you guys need a front court presence. Even though he's undersized, he'll be able to guard the best player on the team.
Pretty much. And he's a dog,
On the
that guy.
opposing team, and he's a dog. So, and he's been in the playoffs multiple. He's been in the playoff. I think he has like that winning mentality. He's been on teams, and he was on that Bucks team, so that won the
Mm-hmm.
championship. So, Yeah, I think that's a great pickup. Hopefully you guys sign him to extend the 10-day contract. And I think hopefully the PJ Tucker adds this little oomph for you guys in terms of top tier teams.
Some type of dynamic needs to shift because obviously Tibbs is a very defensive minded coach and the defense doesn't look great right now. So like
Yeah,
what do we need to do to kind of get into the motion of feeling good about the playoffs? Like obviously we're a solid team, up 18 games over 500, like really a good year for the Knicks so far, but we need to get into playoffs. We need to make a run. We need to keep pushing. I think that there's a couple of different things over the next 20 games or so, 18, 20 games that they need to do to make an impact on how their playoff journey is going to be. If not, it might be just like how it was last year, which was disappointing.
yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Which I think for me the and we'll kind of dive more into this and when we talk about the Lakers versus the Celtics. My biggest concern with the Lakers is that LeBron's been in this situation before where he has a counterpart and they're running like a two-man offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what scares me the most. LeBron, when he faced the Knicks, he had a triple double. Luke with 31, I believe. Hold up, let me get my stats correct.
Hit
He
it with the
had
studs.
he had a 31 11. No, he had a 31 12 and 8, and then Luca had 32 12 and 7. So they both almost had a
Mm-hmm.
triple double. But we've seen this with him and Kyrie. It was kind of just him and Kyrie dominating, and then what else is there? So that's kind of my worry. Austin Reeves needs to step up. He's been playing good, kind of. He was in a slump this game. He only had 8 points. But he did have 6 rebounds. But we need more from that. We need more from him.
Mm-hmm.
And we need more from the role players because that's what also wins you games in the playoffs. They say rule of thumb: your stars are gonna win you one. Your role players are gonna win you two, and then maybe the coach might win you another game as well in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. So definitely need more production there, which kind of segues into the Lakers versus the Celtics. It was a tough day for the Lakers. They couldn't,
Mm-hmm.
even though they only lost by I think they lost by 10. Yeah, they only lost by 10. But the biggest takeaway was that Drew Holiday had just returned from after missing four
Yep.
games. He had a right pinky injury, so now he's back, and we already know what type of pedigree he brings. And then they still don't have Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah. Like they're
So
still not at full health and they
they're still
really
rolling.
played tough. Like what Peyton Pritchard and what's his name?
Derek White. Derek
Derek
White.
White, what they did earlier in the week was wild, bro. Dropping like 90 points between the two of them. Like, and that's your sixth and maybe fifth and sixth best player on the team. Like, and your team's not all together. Like, oh my gosh, that team is
Yeah.
gonna be tough, bro.
Yeah, I
And
mean they
the
might
one thing though
they
with the Lakers that has changed, which is like good for LeBron, and I haven't seen this in like forever because obviously usually Bron is the one that's you know
facilitated. Yeah.
shifting the course of the game and facilitating the ball to his teammates. He was open in the corner like multiple times, and I haven't
Hmm.
seen LeBron open like that in I don't know how long. So the double
Yeah.
came to Luca. They dished it to him. You know that is going to be dangerous in the playoffs if he can lock in and feel really good. But like you said, it can't be just Luca LeBron show. Like we need a third guy always, and
Yeah.
especially when they're on the road. We know that that's when the stars usually hold most of the weight, but you need your role players to play hard on the road. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a difficult situation if nobody picks up like and gets hot here in the last few weeks before the playoffs. So, um, I don't have any trepidations. Like I think the Lakers are going to go all the way to the finals this year, just because of the way that they are and the way that they're built right now with Luca and LeBron, like just hammering all of these top tier teams. Because all these
Yeah.
wins have been teams that are over 500. So
Yeah.
And then the back half of their schedule is like the easiest schedule in the NBA. Like they're playing like
Yeah,
Wizards, like crap teams at the bottom of the barrel.
yeah.
That they'll get
I
those
I
rest
think they'll
games.
be fine. But the Lakers did. The Celtics held the Lakers at 21%, so they shot 5 of 23 in the third, and just in the third quarter. So my whole thing is just like, again, the Lakers need to kind of get it together and find out who's going to be that other guy, because like you mentioned, you got Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, and that's like your fifth, sixth best player, and they're doing that is kind of scary, and especially
Mm-hmm.
because they're not full health. So, I mean, it was a tough loss. Don't get me wrong, but we still held them by 10. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we kind of get shit together on the come the playoffs, hopefully they could definitely make a huge run. Like you mentioned, maybe the finals. Maybe LeBron gets that fifth ring that I've been dying for him to get.
Then we just have the conversation that he is officially the GOAT, that guy.
Yeah,
Because like everybody's always about how many rings he's gotten, how many championships, blah blah blah. At that point, he's done enough to cement the legacy of the best player in the NBA. So
yeah,
in history. So let's see where he gets to. Obviously, they need to keep it rolling. One loss to the Celtics isn't the end of the world.
dire. Yeah, it's not
Um,
dire, but
but
it's
they
something to
do need to
consider.
they need to
Fix things
really
up.
make sure that they feel good. The roles players need to feel good. The defense needs to be solid. That was another thing that looked a little lackadaisical. Now LeBron is a little older. Luka, we know he has some around the defensive side of the ball, so they gotta lock in, bro. They gotta lock in if they want to get to the
The
finals, and if
finals.
they want to beat the MVP and his team and the craziness that is going on with his like record breaking game the other day too. What was
Yeah,
your thoughts about that? That was
I mean,
wild, bro.
he had the first ever 30-20-20 game, and to me, it's like it's like kind of breathtaking because
Just to get 20
we've
assists or 20 rebounds is
we
so
never
fucking hard, dude.
well, yeah, but we never even seen this. Like we never seen Will, and obviously we know Will had like a 50-point game and all this stuff, but like
Yeah,
we literally never seen somebody like Jokic. Like he's literally a generational talent, and a 30-20-20 game as a center that could get 20 assists. Like you never heard of that. Will,
and I think
Kareem,
it was actually
Shaq.
22 assists, wasn't it? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it
it
was
was that.
22
It was
assists or
22.
something
Yeah,
wild.
it was like 30 something points, 20 something assists, and 20 something rebounds. It's just
Mm-hmm.
wild that he's able to do these things, and it's just something that we've never seen. He's the only center that I've seen to do this. He's so offensively sound. It's crazy. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
makes the
like his
offense so much
ability to
better.
do everything is wild. Like he is so good at doing the things that he needs to do to make his team win and make an impact. And obviously that's why he's the MVP. Like and going to be the MVP. But like
Yeah,
you don't see other players in the league do anything like this, which is like literally change the landscape of a game if he needs to. And it could be in any category. Oh, I gotta score now. Gotta get facilitate, gotta get assists now. You know,
yeah,
gotta get the rebounds and get those boards, gotta get the rebound and get those boards, right? And
yeah,
I think there was like 10 of them were offensive rebounds too. So
yeah.
it's not like he's not bumping guys
Yeah,
around on the other side too, which is crazy.
it's just like, and I say that there's about 5 players in the NBA right now that you could build a team around that are your like superstar players, and he's one: Giannis, Steph, LeBron, and I'll even throw and Luca, and I'm talking about six, KD. You always gotta throw KD in there because
Yeah.
KD is KD, but it's just amazing what he's doing. And we always like to say who's gonna be next. Obviously, maybe Wemby, maybe somebody in college right now.
Cooper
But
Flag.
maybe Cooper Flag, which we're gonna touch on soon. But yeah, like we always say, like who's the next person? Who's the
Yeah, who's the
next?
next face of the
But
NBA?
it's it,
It's
it
Jokic.
it's Jokic.
Like
Even
he's
though we
just
want to,
holding that, bro. Like
yeah, like we don't want to like give it to an international player because it is a basketball is a American sport, but
yeah.
when he's doing things like this, it's like you almost make it impossible for him for an argument to be made against him. Like
Hmm.
Shaw is in competition for Shea. I'm sorry, is in competition for fucking the MVP, but Jokic is probably gonna get it because he's averaging a triple double.
I think Shea will get an MVP. It might not be this year. It might be at some point though, because that team has completely turned around as
Yeah,
well, and they're the number one team in the West. I still think that they have a lot to learn when it gets to the playoffs. Like they're still
yeah,
young guys. Like they did well last year. I think they will do well this year. I just don't know if they're gonna level up enough to get the chip.
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know if they could beat some of these top teams like the Lakers if they're on, or the Nuggets if they're ready to rock and roll. Like if things
Yeah.
are working for both those teams are going to be hard to beat. Then you got to
Yeah,
take on,
the Boston,
whatever
Boston,
happens on the East.
East. Yeah,
If it's Boston, if it's the Cavaliers, if it's
the Knicks
Giannis
or
or
the
the
Knicks.
Knicks, yeah, like it could be any of these teams, dude. I
Yeah,
think the playoffs are going to be fun this year.
yeah. I'm excited for the playoffs, but kind of on the track of playoffs and championships and Cooper Flag. You mentioned
Yeah, yeah. You
it's
ready for
March.
March Madness,
It's
bro?
March,
Did you
and
get
like
your bracket together?
no, I have not.
I know I gotta get mine together. Last year, Ayana and I were like late to the party, and then she put together a bracket, and like all of her teams ended up winning. So I need her to be in the room when I'm putting together a bracket and putting
yeah,
some money on that
shit.
shit.
We might need to do a whole FaceTime call.
Yeah, probably. We need to get
Yeah.
together with everybody, make sure we have it locked in. But what are
Um,
you thinking? What do you think about Duke? Do you think they can go all the way?
I like that Duke team now. They have Cooper Flag and they have some other freshmen as well that I've really come to like his game. I'm looking up his
They're
name right now.
definitely they're definitely number one, right? Like
Yeah,
they're a
for sure.
one seed. Yeah.
It's Cooper Flag and what is it? Oh, Connor Canuple. Canuple.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of them. And they also
But they
have
also have Proctor. They have a couple of guys that were there from last
yeah,
year too.
they have that center, that
Yep.
7-2 center who's a freshman as well. A lot of their team is freshman made. Like a lot of their big name guys are freshmen. Which is again is always a worry because you want experience in whatever the playoffs, especially
Yeah.
in the March Madness.
In the championship.
Um
I mean in the conference.
yeah, but at the same
Series.
time, Cooper Flag and Canople are playing out of their mind. Cooper Flag and Canople are like really like they've had these games where they're going back and forth and they're doing their thing for Duke.
Dude,
So,
that team is
uh,
like 28-3 or something like that, or 28-2. They're really
uh,
good this year.
let me see. Where's Duke? Duke is number one, obviously. Yeah, they're 28-3 right now. So they're really doing their thing. In their conference, they're 19-1. That's crazy. And
But there's
especially
teams you always gotta be aware of, right? You gotta be aware of Auburn, you gotta be aware of Alabama. Alabama has Mark Sears still. He's
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
gonna be an NBA player.
yep.
You gotta be aware of Houston because they shoot the lights out of the ball. They did that last year too. Like
I mean,
those are
and
some good
you
teams.
always gotta worry about UConn. I mean,
True.
UConn is
It's the
going for their
pedigree,
three
bro.
feet. They're going for their 3 feet. They got Hurley at the helm. So they're always in the mix as well.
Where are they
I
sitting?
don't
Where are they sitting as a seed?
UConn is right now they're at 8.
8. Okay, yeah,
So
they're down
so
a
check
little.
this out. As of right now, if Duke beats Quinnipiac or this other college, what college is this? Hold
What is this?
on.
SIUE?
Yeah,
They're part. They're
SIUE.
they're part of the first four, which
Yeah,
is like
so
what next
who,
weekend.
yeah, whoever they face, they beat. Let's say Duke wins, then UConn wins.
They
They're
got to
gonna
play
face
them
each other.
right.
They gotta play them off the bat. So there's gonna be a lot, there's always upsets. There's always teams that we didn't. I think last year was It was TCU on one
Yeah.
of the 2023 2024 where TCU was making like a huge run. I think they made it
Hmm.
to like the Final Four or something
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it was Elite Eight that they got
Elite Eight,
to.
which
Yeah, I don't
to
think they
them
got to
that
the
was the
Final Four.
championship to them because they
Yeah,
never.
I don't even
So
think they ever were there at all. I don't think they've ever
yeah,
gotten out of the like 32 round.
and
So
if
like
I'm
that's
not
crazy.
mistaken, they're not even in here this year as well. So
No, I
there's
don't
a
think they are.
and I always say college basketball, college sports in general, you get like that extra pride because it's like at one point they were playing for free. Now it's with the whole NIL money and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But you always got that pride for your college, and that's what they play for, like the pride. You know what I mean? And
it's just a
they
whole
play
different
with
dynamic
they play with a lot
of
of passion.
yeah. It like the games are just different because like the competitive level is similar, right? There's not
Yeah,
many teams that like there are obviously like those top tier teams, five or so that are like better. But most of the
yeah,
time, you're going in and you don't know what's going to happen, and you're like, "This is a fucking fun ass series to watch." Like back and forth, all these games and everything. Like you just seem like it seems like everybody's on top of their game. Like that's when they play the best.
yeah,
It's March Madness, dude. It's just like
yeah.
it March Madness. So, but there the way that the bracket is set up is there's going to be a lot of fun games. Like in the
A
West,
lot of
Florida has to play Gonzaga if they both win. Same way.
that's gonna be
So
tough.
it's like, bro, like right away you're playing tough teams. Like same with Midwest, like Creighton and Houston. If they were to win, they play each other, and
Yeah,
they were in the Elite Eight last year too. So it's,
exactly. Yeah,
they really put the um they put the bracket in a decent spot to have some really fun games going into like the 64 round. So
yeah. And you always got Kentucky. I believe Kansas is in here too. I mean, they've been slacking in terms of, but they can always make a run. So listen, I'm excited. It's March Madness. March is a lot of things happening. March kicking off NCAA. So we'll definitely home team. Let us know who you got for the tournament.
yeah, yeah.
Let us know what your bracket is looking like.
Drop the
Obviously,
bracket in the comments. I want to see
yeah.
what people are doing.
Obviously, me and Dougie Fresh are kind of we're not kind of we are very excited for March Madness.
Yes.
So it's about to be a whirlwind. So let's buckle
I
up.
just I love
Let's hop
March
on this roller
Madness because I
coaster.
literally just I have on my phone the bracket and I watch all those games. Like that's what I love about March Madness is you're always locked in and
Yeah,
it's so fun because it's just
yeah,
like the games will go until that last second and something is happening. And obviously, like you're gonna have games where they get blown out and it is what it is, and that's because like a number one seed is playing like a number 16 that got
yeah,
in from the
yeah,
first four. But as the tournament continues, like, and you
yeah.
get closer and closer to that final eight, final or elite eight, final four, you're like, damn, these games are make or break.
Cooking,
Like,
cooking.
like these guys are going too. So I'm excited about it
Yo,
for sure.
my the thing I'm gonna say is that for me personally is I don't have a favorite team. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm a diehard UConn or diehard Duke. I'm just seeing great basketball and the competitiveness, and that's what really just makes me more engaged in March Madness. So,
Hmm.
the schedule, if I'm not mistaken, what's the schedule looking like?
I think the 18th is when everything like kicks off. That's that
Yeah,
first four. So that has like
March.
Bucknell, Quinnipiac, the SIUE, and then Southern, and see where they all fall to get in.
Yeah, so the first round starts the 18th, and that's gonna be in Dayton. Then it's gonna go to. Then obviously we're still in the kind of first and second round, all the way up to the 21st, 23rd.
Hmm.
Then it's gonna come to Newark, which it should be in New York, but whatever. Then they're shifting to San Fran, Atlanta, and then obviously, Indianapolis is where
Dude,
things are
all big
gonna.
cities too, dude.
Yeah.
So fun.
So a lot of traveling going on in terms of the NCAA. So definitely excited for to see what happens in the tournament. Um, which speaking about traveling, I was reading an article the other day. actually this week, and it talked about the top 15 dullest cities to travel to.
Dullest. Oh,
Dulles. Yeah,
so
Dulles.
as in
Which
whack.
uh I really want to say wag. I think it's more so like calm, like more calm than anything.
Oh, okay, okay. So like
Yeah.
just like easy flowing, dull. As
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
when I think
yeah.
of dull though, I always think of like this is whack. Like this is dull. It's not that great. You know, like what are the cities on this list? Like,
Yeah, so they had Sweden was on there. They
oh,
had
so they had
Belgium on the
countries.
yeah,
Okay.
country. So Sweden, Belgium, they had Denmark, Finland, and some other and oh, they had the Netherlands except for Amsterdam. So those are like the ones that kind of stood out to me the most. But they had Monaco in there, which for me, I thought Monaco was a place everybody goes to and
Yeah, me
chills and
too.
stuff like that.
So why would
So
what was like the tiering for why they were the dullest then?
no, it was just a list. It was like kind of
Oh,
1 to
okay.
15. I'm
And
trying to
like,
find the
is it
article
because
now.
people don't go there as often now, or like,
Well, I just think like I think it's more so the landscape of it. Like when you go to like
mm,
Finland, it's like kind of, or even like something like Edinburgh. Edinburgh is like very like chill and calm. It depends what you want. And like, do you want a Miami, Amsterdam type of vibe, or do you want to like kind of go and chill out? So I don't think they mean dull like as in like whack, but I
mm,
think they mean like kind of like serene, calm, and stuff like that.
yeah,
Which
calm, cool,
the the
collective.
the
Like you're
yeah,
seeing the mountain ranges, you're enjoying your time, you're getting that scenic route and route, kind of going. Okay, okay, yeah. I mean, to me, like I feel like Sweden and Finland, like those are really like nice places. Like they're
yeah.
popping countries. Like people love to go there and see stuff. So like when you put Dole on here, I was like, what's that for? You know?
Yeah, I was like, no, because I find it interesting because like a lot of people like off rip will always think Doe is like very like boring and
Mm-hmm.
monotonous and all this stuff. But I think it's more so context. I think every kind of country has like their own individual aspect to give. Like, for example, maybe somewhere in Seattle, people think it might be dull, but then
Mm-hmm.
for somebody who likes nature, they would
Like
probably love,
nature and rain, they might want to
yeah,
go to Seattle.
they might, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a cup of tea of where you wanna go as a travel destination.
But that's
Which,
like the cool thing around the Olympics too, which we were talking about,
yeah,
as well as like these countries. One, they represent themselves within all these sports, but they're bringing their own culture with them too, which is like really really cool. So like, I know that you had set up for the chill and ask section of this episode, like a
yeah,
really good conversation to starters. So where are we
yeah,
at with that? Like what were you trying to kick off with the home team here?
yeah. So my question, kind of like sticking to the travel thing, which we answered our chilling out segment, was the question I wanted to ask was, and home team chime in this as well. What is your dream travel destination look like? Is it a more kind of is it a dull place where it's quiet and stuff like that, or is it a more loud, maybe like a Miami, like a city vibe, maybe like a
Hmm.
London or something like that? Um, Dougie, what's your opinion? What's your
Yeah,
opinion on that?
I think Jan and I will always say that our dream travel destination would be Scotland. Like we love the visuals there. We love the
Yeah, and
serene.
if I'm not mistaken, Edinburgh is in Scotland. Edinburgh.
Like that is like one of our top
Yeah.
places to go. Obviously, now with Dylan, we'll have to wait a little bit until she's a little older to take that journey. But dude, like it's the food looks amazing, the scenic route looks amazing. We
We
want
were
like
talking about going to
all that.
Scotland.
Yeah, we were all talking about that. Like that was gonna
Yeah.
be like our next
Trip.
destination spot as a unit here.
Yeah,
After that
yeah,
crazy Mexico trip that we took.
yeah.
But no, I think that that would be the dream spot for sure. And then we would backpack around like to other countries, like quickly jump over to Ireland and then England and do all that fun stuff and try and be like very touristy. But that would be the starting point. Would be just like drop us off in Scotland and let us rock and roll. What about you, man?
You know, I kind of teeter totter between kind of being in Italy. kind of like
Ooh,
going to Hawaii. I personally never been to either one.
dude,
Two different
Hawaii is the
vibes.
best. The
Yeah,
best,
I
bro.
gotta get to Hawaii. So Hawaii is
You
like two
got to.
different. Hawaii and Italy like two different vibes. Hawaii is more like a beachy, kind of
Islandy,
sunny and
yeah.
islandy, and then I would want to go to Italy because there's just a bunch of
Like
um
historical things.
historical landmarks and all that stuff. And just the scenery, the architect, all that stuff is there. So, and then obviously the food is amazing there. Always would love like a gelato, like a cappuccino with a gelato mix. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? Yeah, I think, and Italy is just like you go to Italy and you can go to like any other country as well. So I think that
yeah.
would be kind of I'm split between either one of those to be
I
honest. I'll
think
probably
Italy, they were saying like is one of the like highest places for pickpocketing now. So if you do go, make sure you have your wallet and all your stuff in the front pocket or in your little fanny pack on
Yeah, yeah,
on
you gotta
on your
got the
person.
fanny pack. Yeah, you got the
Um,
fanny pack
and
going
then
on.
for Hawaii, bro, we went to Maui in 2019. That was like amazing, but very, very
Yeah,
touristy. So I recommend going to Kauai. Everybody was
yeah,
saying that that island is so beautiful, little less touristy. You still get that like feel, but you get to really see like the rainforest and all that awesome stuff
yeah,
that's there. We went and did a whole tour of the island. Like it was called the Tour of Hana or Road to
yeah.
Hana,
I heard of that. Yeah,
which
my
is
mom, my
literally
mom
like
did that.
on a
Yeah,
like you're on like a bus and you go around the
whole
whole
island.
island
Yeah,
and you see all the different like animals and like vegetation and there's waterfalls and all that. It's like crazy the differences too. Like we went when it wasn't like super rainy on the one side of the island. So you were when you were going through like the whole tour, you literally were seeing like how rainy and like moist one side of it was, and then the
yeah.
other side of the island was like super dry and
Dry. Yeah,
like dead. It was like, whoa, this is crazy. And we ended up
yeah.
going to the black sand beaches, which was like super cool.
Super dope. Yeah,
Yeah, that was like mad fun. That was something that we definitely have to hit when you go.
yeah. I definitely got to get out there to Hawaii for sure. Definitely on my destination bucket list.
My other
Um,
destination bucket list is to get back to Louisiana, back down to New Orleans for
oh
another
man,
round, bro. Um,
we had a great time in Louisiana. That was
dude, that was so
no.
much fun for the wedding. Like that was amazing, and it
I
being
I
Fat
think for
Tuesday and
me,
everything
yeah,
was
yeah, I think
crazy.
for me, that's still probably the best trip I've ever been on, just because, like, just for everything. Like, obviously, to celebrate you and Jan was amazing, so that's obviously up there. But just for me, just being immersed into like, I took I did like a whole walking tour, so
Yeah,
I walked all around, just like the main kind of area of uh New Orleans.
like the French
I
Quarter-ish
Yeah,
look.
the French Quarter. So, I went and I was just like, wow, there's like so many like music and cultural backing and stuff like that that I love. And just the vibes was always good, the drinks was always flowing and just seeing Mardi Gras, and it was just like a perfect combination of everything mixed into one. So, yeah, now we
Yeah,
definitely got to get back to New Orleans for sure.
that's what I was saying too. I want to go. I want to go without the dogs. Dylan can stay with the grandparents, and we hit the street and we do it, bro. Like that would be
Yeah,
mad fun. That was one of my favorite trips. Like you said, it was just long. We drove all the way down there. It was a
yeah,
lot with the dogs, but like we had so much fun, and every moment was great. And I want to do the Everglade tour again with the alligators and stuff like that, where they were throwing the marshmallows at them and stuff. That was
yeah.
mad fun,
Well,
bro.
you guys did that, and I was like kind of hearing stories about how the pictures you guys took and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
seemed dope for you guys.
Yeah, dude, that was so fun. There was one on the way back, we didn't see like any alligators, so they ended up having an alligator in one of like the coolers, and they just like took him out and they gave it to everybody to like hold this little
Wavy,
alligator. It was mad fun. So
wavy. Yeah, no, definitely home team. Let us know what is your dream destination to kind of to travel to. I'd love to hear your feedback regarding that. Um, you know. traveling is obviously a very a great topic to talk about, but technology is changing the way we do travel.
Yeah,
And
bro.
with
Like I was
the
reading the other day around there was like 95 like airplane crashes already this year. Like it's been crazy with that.
yeah, just from and multiple like and not just in one specific airline. It's been like in different airlines as well. Scary
I wonder.
sighting, obviously safe travels to everybody who is
Yeah,
traveling.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely, wanted to just throw that out there. But yeah, technology is just changing the way we travel. I was also reading about they're trying to make a new airplane that's more detachable. Like,
Mhm.
so if something were to happen, it could detach.
Mhm.
Like the main cabinet could just detach. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what their kind of methodology about that, and kind of seeing
Yeah,
where
like the
that
approach of
kind
how they're going to build that out is going to be really really cool to see
of
cuz
yeah.
like what are you going to do? How is it going to separate and like is it going to have its own like um what are those
Cockpit.
things? Parachutes or whatever? Like, if
Yeah.
something happens, will it just like push the plane like the cabin off to the side and then like parachute and then everybody is good? Like, what is the
Yeah. I
thought
think the
process?
mechanism is kind of, if something was to happen, it'll detach and potentially either one, it'll have its own wings kind of meshed in, or it will kind of use a parachute. But then I was also reading like maybe they were thinking about doing a airplane with no windows, and I'm like, no, let's not do the whole no windows thing. No
Bro,
windows.
that'd be wild. I
That'd be
couldn't get
wild.
on an airplane with no
Yeah,
windows. Like,
yeah, I can't
no
do that.
way. I need to be
I'm
able to
sorry.
see out. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So,
But the biggest thing, and everybody's been talking about it, it's been happening for about a couple years now, is AI. Microsoft is ramping up their AI efforts. They're pouring $80 billion into the infrastructure
$80 billion. That's
dollars.
wild.
That's wild. Into developing their own AI infrastructure and technology. What are your thoughts about AI? What are your thoughts about them pouring 80 billion into AI? Home team, let us know what you think as well.
I mean, obviously, like they're trying to compete with OpenAI, which has like been light years ahead of everyone else. I
Yes.
still feel like there's something around AI that needs to like give. Like it works, like it's really good as you continue to feed it like prompts and like get better at it, but it's still like something is
Kinky.
off.
The
And
the
like,
skink.
like you can tell it's not like obviously it's not going to be perfect, but you can tell like it's not human esque still.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
use AI like every day at work because we have some internal tools that like will go out and scrape data for us or like generate emails for us or whatever. And you have to really like feed it the knowledge to get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Obviously like the LMs, like those learning models are getting better
Yeah.
and better, but like I still feel like it's light years away from being like, oh, AI is going to take over all these jobs and like change the way that we
Well,
think about the
I feel like
world.
it's kind of like Google too, because like when you put into Google and like you just put in like something, like you need to put in like the right, you need to word it properly in order
Yeah,
to get an
keywords
answer.
are important, right? Like the
Yeah,
keywords
yeah,
are like what has to dial it in.
for
And
sure.
then it's like the learning mechanisms too, right? Because the the more you feed it bad shit, like the more it's not gonna know what to differentiate, right? Like so
Yeah,
it's just gonna have bad shit. Like that's the whole
yeah,
thing. So you have to feed it like good knowledge and then continue to tweak the prompts that you're sending over to it. Um but what I have learned though is it does do a really good job at like summarizing data, right? You give it a huge data
yeah,
set, it'll summarize that up for you and like that is a good like starting point. But there's
yeah. I
other
think it's a
stuff
learning.
that's just like
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
great.
I think is if you use it properly, it's good for like learning and all that stuff. Because again, like you said, it summarizes everything. So instead of you kind of having to take time and walk through certain data or whatever, it'll kind of like give you like the summary of it, and then you can kind of like nitpick on what
Tweak,
you want.
find the commonalities, what
Yeah,
trends are looking at.
But AI, technology is always, when something new comes out, it's always going to be something that you need to get used to, and always you're going to have to adjust. And on top of that, they're going to find nick kinks and all that stuff and all. So I just find it interesting that Microsoft is now putting $80 billion into this
Well, they're
AI.
like, okay, this is definitely going to be the route of the future. So like what can we do to get ahead of the curve? It was the same thing with
Yeah,
like Apple. Apple did all that when they started to come out with their phones, right? The iPhone and
yeah,
everything. When the iPhone first
yeah,
came out, they were like, all right, let's make something sleek, user friendly, and like
yeah,
that's easy to update and everybody will want it and that it syncs with all of your other technology. They were like,
yeah,
all right, this is perfect. That was top tier. Look at where they are with like their iPhone
yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm
AI is
sure.
that new tech, like you said, like that
Well,
everybody's trying
if
to
I'm
get
not
into.
mistaken, they the update to all of that, like the latest iOS software update
Yeah.
has some sort of AI in it. So even Apple is starting to kind of get on that bandwagon of AI. So
I
and
think
it
it's
just shows.
more of like you just don't want to be behind the curve, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's more so of like a generational thing. Like a lot of older
Mhm.
generations are like, "What the hell is this?" and blah blah. But it's just the way of where things are shifting now. It's just you gotta keep up with the times.
Yeah, I think that one thing that everybody should and audience, chime in on this, but everybody should recognize that AI was built by humans, right? Like it's
Yeah,
written in code by humans, so like it's not oh, all of a sudden this came out of nowhere. Like this was an idea
robots.
by somebody that they wrote this code and then it started to learn off the back of other people feeding it information. But that's the
Yeah,
same way that we learn, right? If somebody feeds us bad information, we're going to spit bad
bad
facts or
info.
bad
Yeah,
information back out. So it's the same thing, right? So you always
yeah,
have to think about it as like there is a human-esque component to it
yeah,
because it wouldn't be here without it, right?
for sure. Yeah, I mean, AI is definitely creeping up on us for
But they're
sure.
doing some crazy things. Like I saw like a full suit that like Tesla is working on that has AI in it, right? And it is literally going to be like a butler for you. Like you could speak to it and it'll do things around the house for you. It'll cook your food, it'll vacuum your floors, like it'll literally be like iRobot almost. Remember that movie with Will
Yeah,
Smith? That shit
yeah, it
was
was
wild.
supposed yeah, I don't know, if I want a robot cooking my food. They're not gonna put no love into it.
No, no. And
They
then you're
they're
gonna
gonna be
have to
like,
keep teaching it like to get better. Like it'll be like
"Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
Gordon Ramsay and that person is like the robots in Hell's
uh,
Kitchen. This sucks
yeah,
ass. I don't like
yeah,
this.
for real." They're gonna, like they're not gonna put no love into that shit. It's gonna be like, "Alright, here goes salt, here goes pepper," you know what I
But they
mean?
were
Where's
showing
my
like the robot like walking on its own after giving it a command and like
That's
going
crazy.
running down like a hill and then running back up. Dude, there was some wild things that are going on. And if AI can kind of like get tweaked enough where it could fully run a whole robot on its own, and then all you have to do is keep like feeding it more. That's some crazy stuff. That's some crazy stuff. You got to keep an eye out.
Home
Um,
team, let us know what your thoughts on AI. I mean, this AI thing is going crazy.
do you
Our
use it at work? Is it like that? Do you use it for any efficiency gains or no?
No, we don't really use AI as of right now, for my job, but there is AI media buying, and
Hmm.
that's what I'm trying to tap into because trying to get ahead of the curve
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how I incorporate it more in my workflow. Like I said, I probably use it maybe like 5 times a week, maybe? Like, I know people that are using it, like, a lot, like, every
Yeah,
day, like, all day, they're using it to, like, either write code for them or, write emails, like, draft copy, like, there's people that, I was talking to one of my coworkers, he was like, "Oh, I need a new, headshot for LinkedIn," and there's an AI headshot website where
that's
you
so weird.
take a bunch of different photos that you have, right? And you send it over to them, like send it over to it, and it will start to conceptualize and pull together a headshot off of photos of you that could be like it could be me and Dylan, and then me and Ayana, and then one of just me. and then it'll literally give you a full professional photo and headshot.
That's
And it
so lazy.
looks a little weird, but like there's some that are like spot on that are super cool.
Super dope. Technology is obviously increasing at our it's kind of funny too because back in the days they used to do things on like literally on stone, and now we're
Mhm.
talking about literally potentially robots
But like, what
being
would you do this day and age without the internet? Like, would you ever even think about a world without the internet? And like,
no,
only 20, what, 30 years ago, there really wasn't internet the same way that it is now. We were
yeah,
talking about this before. Like, you had to plug your computer into the phone
to
jack, like, and then it was
yeah,
dial up, bro. Like, it was
yeah,
wild. Like, internet
yeah,
is even different. And
yeah,
the whole way that you shape the world is different, right? Like,
yeah.
I have recipe books right here that I feel like I haven't used like in years. I have them; they're on our bookshelf, but I always
Yeah, for
just go to my
sure.
phone, look up,
Look up the recipe.
look up the recipe, and bang, I have it, right? Or
Yeah,
I want to put together, like I was putting together one of Dylan's like toys. It was like one of those bouncy like things that
yeah.
she can sit in, and it came with directions, and I was like, nah, I'll just go to YouTube, put the little toy in, show me how to put it together, and then somebody does the video with me, right?
Mm.
And then now you're like learning and putting it together at the same time without having to read the directions.
Well,
And
that's something too. Like you could learn anything from YouTube.
mhm.
There's like so many like how tos on YouTube and all this stuff. So yeah, I mean,
Dude,
take that.
people are literally buying houses and rebuilding the whole house off videos from YouTube. They're
Yeah,
putting the floor down, they're redoing the whole like the modeling of the foundation, they're putting on their own roofs, like crazy amount of things that you can learn and get like information on and knowledge from at your fingertips now. It's so
yeah,
different.
yeah.
So
It's crazy. Judging how times have changed. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I
Uh,
saw a post the other day and it was like, what did we do before having a smartphone when you're getting ready for bed? Like now, you're in your bed,
Set your
you're
alarm.
scrolling, you're setting your alarm, you're getting ready for the next day. But like before, what'd you do? You just set your alarm on your clock and you
Your
just fell
alarm
asleep.
clock. Nobody's not even has an alarm clock anymore.
No, no. We have a clock in the room, but it's Alexa. It's an Alexa dot. So I can ask her to turn on the lights or like, turn off the lights or whatever I want her to do. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
AI. Well, technology is blowing our minds right now.
It is. It's starting to get like kind of crazy to think about. And now that I'm a dad, like, how do I want my daughter to, mesh with technology? Because like all of the videos are on on YouTube or on Netflix are like, don't give them that much screen time, but give them enough screen time so that they can enjoy
It's
some
a
other
balance.
stuff. It's like it is a balance. Yeah, exactly. Everything's in
It's a balance.
moderation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we're coming approaching the end. And you know how we normally always like to end things off with is our next segment, our last elevated advice. Dougie, what's your elevated advice for today?
my elevated advice, which is from CoStar, I'm
Shout out
shouting you out
CoStar.
again. Hopefully we'll
Contract,
get that
contract.
contract. Um, Notice how what you think you lack makes you vulnerable. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Notice how what you think you lack makes you vulnerable. That's like a deep one to really like think about. Like,
Yeah,
it's really about understanding who you are at your core and knowing that, not everything is perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You can be vulnerable to things, open yourself up to others, and like really have that positive like group of individuals that are around you so that
to
you
balance
have
you.
the confidence, one, and to balance you and to keep you growing. And that's the whole piece of the puzzle for this, for you and I, right? And this partnership and
Yeah,
what we're doing here is to grow together and be positive influences on each other's lives and continue to grow. I think thinking about where you might, lack in strength or lack in knowledge might make you feel vulnerable. But at the end of the day, there's going to be somebody else that knows that stuff or is there to support you and feel better about it. So like I think that that's a really cool way to think about it. What do you think? Notice how
Yeah, I mean,
what you think you lack makes you vulnerable.
yeah, I mean, your weaknesses are always gonna make you vulnerable. That's just the reality of the situation. But that doesn't mean that you necessarily can't work on your weaknesses to make them your strengths.
Hmm.
And that's where you just have people that are, that are around you, like you mentioned, that could feed off of maybe you're weak at here in this area, but they're better at that. So they kind of you create that chemistry and that continuity within your friendships and stuff like that to kind of counteract each other. Very important to have. We all have weaknesses. Nobody's individually perfect. So having that balance around you helps you grow as a person.
I agree. I agree. What's your elevated advice over there, CJ?
Well, this one's kind of very, very relatable. It's okay to let your brain rest.
Okay, okay. I like that.
Yeah, you never want to have your well. For me, I'm always having my brain running at a million miles per hour because you're dealing with so much things that you kind of figuring out all type of aspects of your life. And sometimes your brain needs a break, to like
Hmm.
chill, to relax. And this is where kind of like self love comes in. Whatever you do for self love. Um, for me, I like sometimes just catching up on movies and stuff like that. um, your brain just needs to rest, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
it
think it's
needs its
just like the
downtime.
mental reset, right? Like I feel like I
Yeah,
have an always on function like in my
yeah,
brain. It's like always
mhm,
something is happening. I always have to take care of something. I always got to do something. And then
yeah.
you get like a little bit of like a bad taste in your mouth where you're like, "Oh my gosh, why am I always doing something?
Active. You're
Why
always
am I
active.
I
Yeah,
always have something going on." It's like I want one day to myself to just like check out for a second and just like breathe and feel good. And I think that that is part of like what, audience, tell us how you're doing it, what you guys are
yeah,
up to. Like, how do you take the time that you need to self reflect and feel good about what you're doing, but also just like check out for a second, back out a little
yeah,
bit and like let things just like flow and take a mental break for a second. I think that that's important.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's important just to kind of mellow out, and kind of like gather your thoughts and things like that. Yeah, home team, don't get over stressed out. Always reset and have people around you to balance you. Let us know what your elevated advice for everybody
Hmm.
in the comments is,
We're
and
very
especially for
interested.
us. Very interested. That is it for our episode today. You can catch us on YouTube at 6 p.m. every Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and Dougie. So next time.